I don't know if there are any Asterix fans out there. Oh my, let me put that a little bit lower here. I don't know if there are any Asterix fans out there. I love those old comic books from the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, all the way to the 1980s and 90s, especially the Franco-Belgian school, Asterix, Tintin, the Smurfs, you know, Lucky Luke. Are there any others? Oh, Spirou, of course. Spirou is very cool too. And so I've got them all. I've got them all. And so when there is a video game, very often when there's a video game covering those comic books, usually I'm not that excited because they don't really cover the source material. Let's have a look at the Smurfs, for example, here, which is a video game that's coming up later this year, and I'm totally not excited about this kind of game. Let's have a look and see why I'm not excited.
Having a belief problem? You don't know what to do anymore?
Already it sounds very cringy and cheesy. No.
Your search is over. Handy Smurf introduces you to the Smurfizer.
Like, what? You know, they're just using the Handy Smurf to do pretty much all kinds of things that you're never seeing in the comic books. This is not respecting the source material.
Nature-friendly materials such as wood and metal, but also a very stable shoulder strap to facilitate rotation and
whatever.
movement.
Let's have a look at how it looks like. That's also another problem that I have with those games, is they're always making them in 3D like that, and it doesn't look like the comic books at all. This looks more like the cringy Hollywood movies that they've made recently. And it's just...
To glide.
Anyone who's familiar with the original source material is going to say that this is not the true spirit of the Smurfs. You know, if I want to, you know, or if I wanted to have a good game that looks like this universe, I would go for the Mega Drive or the Sega Genesis game, which looked so much more like the original material. And I remember playing those games as a kid. I really enjoyed playing those, right? Yeah, of course they were a comic. I only ever knew the old cards. Oh my, of course they were comic books, and they started as comic books, and they were awesome. They're so much better than also the cartoons, right? And I would have the same complaint with Tintin, for example. I don't know if you guys watched this. I think it was from 10 years ago, right? Which is basically a mix here. This movie is a mix of The Secret of the Unicorn and the Crab with the Golden Pinches. I think that's the name of the title in English, right? And that is a heresy because as a result, it's not sticking to the original material. First, it doesn't look that good. Sorry, but yeah, it's in CGI. But Tintin is not a real character. It's a comic book, and turning everything into CGI doesn't give the same feeling as you have when you're actually reading the comic books. And on top of that, mixing different books all together to make a movie is a heresy to me. Is a heresy to me, right? So when I'm looking at this now, we're going to close this. When I'm looking at this video game here, which is a completely different approach, that leaves me excited. So we're gonna have a look at this trailer here.
By the Romans. Well, not entirely. One small village of indomitable Gauls still holds out against the invaders.
Asterix.
And life is not easy for the Roman legionaries who garrison the fortified camps of Totorum, Aquarium, Laudanum, and Compendium.
Now, anyone who is a fan of Asterix, who's read all the comics, who's watched all the old cartoon animated movies, they made quite a few animated movies. This is looking exactly like the cartoons and the animated movies, and that's why, unlike the Smurf game and the old Tintin movie, finally I'm excited about a video game that looks like the original material. Look at the gameplay.
Our story begins in the forest, not far from the small village we know so well.
By the way, in case you were wondering, everything was hand-drawn. This is not CGI. This is old-school 2D hand-drawn material.
Let's take advantage of this lovely day to go hunt some boars, Obelix.
Oh yes, goody goody goody.
So it's like
Dogmatics is a-
it's like you are going to be playing, instead of like your traditional video game that you think about. It's like you're actually playing inside the comic book, which is what makes me excited. So we're gonna see how it looks like. Oh, they're back!
On with the adventure.
There we go, on the old school, like in the 1990s, right? But with modern day graphics, hand drawn, that looks like the comic books. Boom. So it's a beat 'em all game, basically.
We're going to have fun.
Let's clear the air.
I love how they slap the Romans and the Pirates. And then that is exactly how I remember the comics books were. And there's also co-op
There's
mode.
more where that came from.
I like that they have the, you know, when you slap a Roman, you have the little onomatopoeia that come below, you know, clang, clouch, ouch, just like you would see in the comic books. This is great.
Onwards. Let's get going. Coming in hot.
Alright, slap them all. Coming in here November 25th. A game that I know that this is not the type of game that I usually show on this channel, but I'm genuinely excited about this, and I'll be playing it. I'm just gonna have a good time slapping those Romans and Paras and just doing that. You know, if I have 5 or 10 minutes of free time, that's definitely something I'll be doing. And I like the fact that you can play in co-op. So maybe I'll be introducing my soon-to-be 8-year-old son to video games, and we'll be doing that together, father and son. But I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Have you read those old comic books? Do you prefer when game publishers stick to the original material like that, or try to modernize it? Let me know in the comment section down below. This video is brought to you by the people who support this channel on Patreon and via the join button as well. Supporters of the channel get access to lots of cool perks, such as access to my private Discord, your question answered in the show, you get to know when I'm going to play, and also you get to have a chance to influence the editorial line of the channel. Any help is appreciated, starts at just $1 a month. Thank you very much for watching. This is The Eradicator, and I'll see you guys later.